Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do
Do people tune into
recall
this?
the most terrible? Come on! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw him, you would even say it close. Come on, all of the
All right, and that was DMX's rendition of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Welcome to the Daily Fish Podcast. I'm Charles, joined here with Dookie, Dustin Hogue. I'm going to start calling you Dookie now. And local legend in 757 area code, Sean Collins. How you guys doing?
Great. Doing good.
Nice. All right, so we're here to break down the Sunday slate. Pretty much every game on the Sunday ticket, even the night game, and just go over who we like, who we don't like in all these games. And then after that, we're going to go make a lineup or two. So let's get this started. All right. So we have the first game, Denver at Jacksonville. Denver's a 3-point favorite with the over-under at 39.5 right now. That over-under dropped almost 4 points.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's crazy. The big thing is me being a Denver fan, I'm also getting a lot of like tweets and info that Paxton Lynch might be starting.
Oh, that's why the over-under is only 3.5.
Oh yeah, it's official actually. It says right here Trevor Simeon's out.
Oh,
yeah, he's out.
Yeah, he was taking all the practice reps, I think Wednesday or Thursday. So definitely interesting there.
Well, Lynch didn't look good last time he started. He looked like a rookie. He looked like a rookie backup.
Yeah. I'm definitely not excited about this, but I mean, he's my first round pick, so you know, I have to be hopeful, right? He's my quarterback.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's going to be good in the future. But for this week, I would steer away from Denver. This whole game looks like a mess. Both sides. Honestly. I'm pitching Allen Robinson. He doesn't look like he's going to be good at all this game. He's been terrible. I mean, Hearns is out, and also tight end's out. What's his name? Julius Thomas is out. So,
is he?
Yeah, so you got no offense on either side.
He's doubtful, so yeah, I don't think he's going to play. Well, I mean, what do you guys think about putting Paxton Lynch in a cash game to get you like 10 to 15 points?
Nah, I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
he's got a lot more upside to that. Even though he technically doesn't have a ceiling right now. But I think his upside is definitely good. I guess those are both the same thing. But, you know, with weapons like Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, that dude, what was his name? It's so bad. I don't even know my players' names. The one that caught touchdowns that you were talking about. Taylor?
Oh, Jordan Taylor?
Yeah, Jordan Taylor.
Is that redheaded dude?
No, that's a long hair
The
dude.
long hair?
They call that Sunshine.
He looks like he's wearing a wig.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to play him a little bit. I'll probably put him in one lineup. His
Because
minimum price.
preseason when Lynch was playing, you were saying like he caught like a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards. That might be a really good tournament play. Also, sneaky play might be Devontae Booker. Not great this season, but on the low could be just really like he could get a lot of targets, a lot of touches, be a good piece of this offense.
What did Taylor do last time Paxton Lynch started?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah.
But I don't know if Taylor was.
It
in
was
the
a good
rotation
matchup
yet.
either.
Because that's the thing. Norwood was sort of like higher on that wide receiver list. Taylor's seen more snaps in the last like 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
Because when he caught his first touchdown, it was like 3 weeks ago or something. I was like, who the fuck was that? Like I honestly didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
And
he's 6'5", and he's a deep threat. So I could see him and Paxton Lynch hooking up on a deep touchdown. He scored in 2 straight games. So he's a moonshot guy. But I would play Paxton Lynch in cash because he's so cheap and you can just load up everywhere else. It's
that's true.
It's a possibility. But do you like Booker at all?
I sort of like the idea of Booker.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have to go cheap somewhere in your lineup, Booker might be a good one. But I mean, I don't even know how much he costs.
He's on 6,400 on FanDuel, which is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
He's definitely like tier 3, tier 4 bracket. The only problem with running backs, it seems like I only have one slot available, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Um, but no one likes it. Jacksonville side of the ball, even T.J. Yeldon,
Maybe TJ Yeldon, maybe
because
because Chris
Ivory's
Ivory
out.
out. Yeah,
That might be
That
a
might
good
be
play.
interesting.
We're not
Yeah.
Denver's not really good at the run,
yeah. Or
so
real contrarian deep Todman. I mean, Todman's actually no. Todman isn't playing for Jacksonville anymore. I'm thinking they was playing for Jacksonville
yeah.
still.
Jonas Gray is our next
Who's
next one in line.
Jonas Grays? Yeah, okay. I was thinking it's Todman's time to shine finally. I remember
All
they
right,
played for the
so
Colts and he still hasn't shined.
yeah, so really, like in this game, it's like almost no one that I like.
Yeah.
Devontae Booker maybe in GPP, but like if
Yeah,
I'm going to run him, like it's going to be like one lineup, maybe two cash games. If you want to save
Jacksonville
money,
defense.
Paxton Lynch is okay, I guess.
Yeah,
But then you just got loaded up on studs. All right, so we'll
the
go on to the
Jacksonville.
next game.
I think Jacksonville's
I'm gonna
defense might be
Jacksonville's defense against the rookie.
against the rookie. They have a really good pass defense.
Yeah, they do. They're fourth. That's another reason why too. This is like
Yeah.
both defenses are pretty bad on rushing,
Exactly.
so this could be a good game on that end.
Before we
Um,
move on to the next game, just one note: Allen Robinson's got a nice matchup according to PFF against Bradley
Really?
Roby. So that's a sneaky tournament play. He's 7,000. So
I don't know, like you were looking at the PPF or PFF.
yeah,
Um, it says that about Roby a lot of times. Roby actually plays pretty good coverage. Like he's in the zone, he's knocking the ball away. I forgot who it was. It was like 4 or 5 weeks ago. There, like Roby had the best matchup, and the guy that Roby was covering didn't do anything that match. I forgot who it was, but I was definitely impressed with Roby. I think they're underestimating him a lot.
Yeah, I also heard someone say something along the lines that Denver's bad against the slot receivers. Marquise Lee might show up this game. Lee
We-
might.
Mhm.
Bortles has to throw to somebody, so Lee might
Right.
show up this game.
I mean, TJ Yeldon's always a good option. But really, as a whole, this game sort of seems like a crapshoot. Like you going super deep. Emmanuel Sanders is kind of cheap. They're 6,400. So I mean, like if you're going for a deep play, I think Sanders might be decent. He's always getting open. Always.
all right. What's the next game?
All right. So we got KC, Kansas City at Atlanta. Atlanta is a 5.5 point favorite with the over/under being at 49. This is definitely an interesting matchup. I don't know if I like Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, because
Lock of the week.
lock of the
This
week.
Yeah.
Will not have two bad games in a row. The last time he put up a bad game, as bad as his last game, he put up 300 yards the next game. This is
let's
lock.
see. Is that true?
He's expensive.
Yeah, I like Julio.
I
He's
mean,
expensive.
he's always getting like 20 points after a bad game. Like he played against Green Bay, he only got 4 points. Then the very next week played against Tampa Bay. I know, like, it really depends on this offensive line if I like this or not. Because when I was watching the Denver game, that game was brutal. KC's defense is fully healthy. They're coming back strong. Their pass rushes are really super strong
Yeah.
as well. But I mean, I definitely like Julio because he's Julio. He is going to get you bad weeks from time to time. But I mean, like, I feel like if you just run him in your roster season long, if you just want to go like Julio Jones in every lineup every week,
Mhm.
you should make money just because
Yeah.
he's always performing.
Yeah.
What about Matt Ryan? Do you guys like him?
Yeah.
I've never liked Matt Ryan. He's the guy that is the opposite. If you run him in your lineup every week, you're going to lose money in the season. That's the way I feel about Matt Ryan. I never touch him, so
Okay.
he's great.
In a,
He's been
in, a
great.
in a tournament, if you're running out Julio, I mean, it's not a bad idea to have him.
Yeah, I definitely like stacking my stud wide receivers with their quarterbacks. It doesn't really matter who it is. Here's another thing though. Tyler Gabriel has a bad matchup,
Yeah.
but then like Sanu has a really good matchup on his end. Sanu might be a randomly good deep play in tournaments.
Yep.
What's he priced at?
5,700.
700. So I mean that's a good price tag. So is Gabriel. Wow. I think I would lock Sanu up because I'm not paying that same price for Gabriel when I can pick up Sanu.
Yeah, Gabriel's been on fire. He's
Yeah,
been so
he's
good.
13% owned in that Double Aces tournament or website or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be
I
playing
think
him
that's
this week.
super high though. I'm surprised Sanu's not that high or that high on this list. All right, what about KC side of the ball? Are we liking like Spencer Ware? I hear a lot of talk that that's like the trap play, Spencer Ware, even though it's a good matchup. Like he's not really a great like pass catcher or anything like that.
Yeah,
What do you guys think about
I
him?
like Spencer Ware. Spencer Ware is a consummate number 5 back in the league right now. That's what he's been. Right? I think he's like top 5 back for fantasy points.
Maybe for the year, but he's not been
So-
getting anything done lately, and
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
see why.
his last
I
four
see-
Certainly,
5 points, 8 points, 9, 10.
Okay.
I mean, he's not doing anything. But I mean, these are easy matchups too. Indianapolis 5 points, Tampa Bay 9. I mean, I think they're relying a little bit more on Alex Smith's arm and his decision making later on.
yeah, I definitely prefer the passing game on the KC side.
Yeah, I
yeah,
like
Tyreek
Tyreek
Hill.
Hill. I like Tyreek Hill a lot.
yeah. I
He's
think
great.
everyone's on that Tyreek Hill guy. Let's see.
Yeah, and he's still cheap too.
16%. Yeah. How much?
He's getting a
is he?
ton of targets. 5,800 on FanDuel.
Dang, yeah, that is cheap. Yeah, I definitely like him. Weak Atlanta offense, especially on the pass. This game could easily be a shootout, even though the over-unders, I guess the over-unders at 50, so yeah. This game could easily be a shootout. Alex Smith might be a randomly good tournament play here.
Yeah, I like Alex Smith. He can put up decent numbers. He's really consistent. So I don't know. A Hill Smith combo might sound weird, but man, they might pull it out. Atlanta's pretty bad against the pass
And
right now.
Kelsey
Trufant's
might
out.
be also like a chalk play. Just
Yeah.
because
Y'all, I love Kelsey is one of my top tight ends this week.
yeah.
Probably, I mean, looking at the list here, I
Yeah,
think he's number one.
3.
Yeah. My I apologize for not knowing the actual numbers. My fancy app won't load, so I just have to kind of throw darts out there from what I remember for like point scoring and stuff like that. So Kelsey, from what I remember, hasn't been lighting it up too much lately. What was his past few weeks?
No, he's over 100 yards, 3 out of the last 5 weeks. So
Okay.
he's only scored 3 touchdowns on the year, but I mean,
Yeah.
26, 10, 8, 20, 21. That's on PPR.
Okay.
On DraftKings.
Yeah,
Nice.
on FanDuel, the last 5 games is 19.6, 8, 6, 13, and 14. So they're
Did I
probably
like it?
leaning more towards Kelsey as like the short game and sort of
Yeah.
like not giving Ware the ball a lot. Does he?
All right.
Does he fumble a lot? I don't
No.
think he fumbles. That's kind of weird. I wonder why they're going away from Spencer Ware. All right, let's go on to the next game. We got the Texans at Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers are a 6.5 point favorite with the over/under staying at 45. What do you guys? We'll start with Houston side of the ball. What do you guys think about Houston?
Jeez, dude, they're
Is it Lamar Miller or
They-
bust? That's what it sounds
I
like.
mean, the whole team's a bust. Like honestly, that whole offense is just a bust. Osweiler's just he's not a competent quarterback, and so you can't trust anybody out there. I mean, he just dink and dunk. They should put Braxton Miller in quarterback. See what he can do.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm surprised
why
they
not?
they don't run any trick plays with him or anything like that to get that offense going. It's Osweiler just looks bad. He doesn't have any confidence.
So do
I
you
mean-
think a defense might be a good play on the Green Bay side of the ball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Always against them, dude.
Always.
Oh
just
yeah, it's actually good. And Green Bay plays the first week in the playoffs. Green Bay plays the Bears, which if you want to pick them up in a season long league, Green Bay might have some sneaky good plays in the next few weeks.
I
So
don't, I honestly don't like. We'll hop to the other side of the ball because there's nothing really to talk about on Houston side of the ball.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
fading that
yeah,
team, dude. They've
I'm
got
not
a
liking
low
this game
point.
at all just because of Aaron Rodgers' hamstring. At the end of their last game, like he just obviously affected them. They're starting to warm up the backup quarterback and saying that he's ready, doing press release. I don't know if that's just standard protocol in the NFL, but it's just you're like, can you trust Aaron Rodgers? Like, I did like him against
Yeah.
this defense, but with that injury, it's just I feel like there's safer options.
Um, yeah. Oh, absolutely, dude.
Yeah. All right, so we'll just go on.
I think he plays though for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
yeah.
he does play too. Just because they're in the playoff hunt, even though they're 2 games behind, it's going to be close for them. All right, so we'll go on to the next game.
Hang on.
What's up?
I want to talk about some of these receivers. If
Yeah.
Rogers plays, I like Adams and Cobb quite a bit. I think Randall Cobb could be sneaky good in the slot, and I mean, Marquise Lee lit them up last week. Or no, who was it? Dontrell Inman. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like they can get beat over the middle. They're in Green Bay. They're home favorites. Randall Cobb's been quiet. I think this is a spot I like for him. And then Devontae Adams has been lighting
Yeah.
the league up too.
Yeah, he's
So-
been really good.
I honestly don't like any of the wide receivers, just because um, the fact that you have a questionable Aaron Rodgers, you don't know how much that hamstring is affecting him. They're warming up the backup.
It affected him long enough when it happened that he was able to do an 8-minute drive down the field, and hold the ball for the entire fourth quarter, essentially, and dismantle the Eagles. So, and the Eagles have a decent defense, and he just took them to the woodshed. I don't think.
Nah, the Eagle. I mean, like, here's the thing about Aaron Rodgers and that offense. It's Aaron Rodgers and that offense. It like the dude's a monster. Like Jordan Reed was on Thanksgiving when he went back in. Frank Gore when he broke his hip and went back into the game and still rushed for a couple touchdowns. Like he's just a monster. But
Yeah.
my thing is I feel like the Green Bay wide receivers right now are like the Saints when Colston was on there. Like even though Colston was their number one, you don't know who's getting the ball, and it's almost like that this year on the Saints too. Like you don't know who's getting the ball, who's going to get the most targets. Like you probably play it matchup dependent. Because let's see, Green Bay, where's their stuff at? Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb have good matchups. Devontae Adams has a bad one, or a worse one than those two. But you just don't know who the favorite target's going to be the other day, or who's got the better matchup. I feel like it can go whoever Rodgers is feeling. He can line it up to the tight ends if he wants to.
Jared Cook.
I don't see that happening. I like James Starks too, man. If they get into a big lead, they could put it in his belly.
I agree with that. I like that.
He's cheap too, and he catches a lot of passes too.
Yeah, 5,800. A starting running back at 5,800. That's a Super Bowl champion. Is pretty nice. Let's not forget that, boys. James Starks was one of the 2 people remaining on this roster that were at that Super Bowl.
Really?
Him and Aaron Rodgers, the only 2 left.
Huh.
I'm just going to completely fade this game. I don't like Green Bay wide receivers. The only time I do like them is the 2-3 game spreads, where I have all 3 Green Bay wide receivers covered. And it's all right, I'm going to get points somewhere. Hopefully it's 40 plus points.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I was the only lineup that won in that 2-game spread. All right, so we're going to move on to Philadelphia Eagles at Cincinnati Bengals. The line shifted from Eagles being a 1.5 point favorite to the Bengals being a 1.5 point favorite now, and the over/under staying around 42. This is pretty surprising to me because AJ Green's still out. In the Eagles secondary, my wife's an Eagles fan, so unfortunately, I've been watching every single game, and it's just the biggest letdown. Philly needs to draft a wide receiver first round with hands. There's no question about it. Carson Wentz is playing well for a rookie. he's making mistakes, but I mean, like all in all, like as a whole, he's definitely looking good. I really don't like
Fantasy-wise,
anyone
though.
in this game. Like maybe Darren Sproles on Philly side of the
Um,
ball.
what about Ertz? What did he do last game?
He was let down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Against Seattle, he would have had that 70-yard touchdown, and if it wasn't called back because of Aguilar, God, I hate Aguilar. I hate him. So I don't know. Ertz might be a sneaky good play. I don't know how the Bengals are against tight ends,
They're
but
not the
he's
greatest
really
against the pass, or I mean, they're pretty good against pass. They're better against the rush. So maybe Sproles might be a good play here.
okay.
He's looking healthy.
DGB is always could get you a touchdown and 50 yards. I think he looked really good when they took Aguilar out.
Yeah, I know Dustin was all about him
Yeah.
going into this week.
Yeah. He's minimum priced. He's 4,500. He's got 8 and 10 targets last 2 weeks when he's been starting. Had a touchdown against the Seahawks. Had 6 for 82. I mean, I like him minimum priced.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
minimum price too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's crazy. He's their number one now, de facto. I mean, Jordan Matthews might be out, so
Let's see.
he
What's his
looked good on
deal?
that first
Ankle.
drive before.
He's questionable, so he might get in there.
What about the other side of the ball? Do you guys like Eifert?
I do.
I definitely do like Eifert. Brandon LaFell is another one. Tyler Boyd. I definitely like that side of the ball. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to attack it though. Probably Eifert though. Probably the best solid play.
Yeah.
Get most of the
We'll
offense
see.
from him. What about
Eagles
the
have
running
good
back? What about
defense,
Jeremy
so-
Hill? What's up with him?
I liked Hill. I think I called Hill as my second half of the season star. He didn't look good last week. It kind of disappointed me, but I think if they can start getting him going, then it's gonna that will jumpstart their offense. I think Hill's the key for them to make a playoff run. And I seriously, if you have him in any of your leagues, I'd hold on to him or I'd trade for him if you can, because he is on the cheap, and I think he's going to be good in the playoffs. I think he's going to be good down the field. This week, not so much. For a daily, the Eagles are good against the run. They have a really stout defensive line. So,
But you told me that they get beat with pass catching running backs. He's an every down back now. He had 6 catches last week, so
they
I do like him.
They get beat by Giovanni Bernard types.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
is Giovanni Bernard now.
Yeah,
He doesn't get off the field.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Bernard's injured, right? He's still
Yeah.
out. I didn't
Yeah, I
see him
get
on
that.
this list.
but he can't. Jeremy Hill will beat you right down the center. He can't get on the outside. He's not fast enough to break around the outside. And I mean, I don't know.
I like him.
Yeah, I like
I'm
him
trying-
just because he's going to be pretty much the only one that's getting all the touches.
Yeah.
He's 5,800 on FanDuel. He's getting all the work. Yeah. He's the goal line back, the pass
Yeah.
Yeah.
down, third down back, all that.
Is it going to be
It's
cold?
almost like Devontae Booker in the Denver game, like the only back really. So he's going to get the
Yeah.
workload in running back position.
Yeah. Is it going to be cold there? The weather's bad at all in Cincinnati this weekend. Then I think Hill might be the play at running back for your second running back.
I can see that because like
Yeah.
wide receiver, you're not going to get Brandon LaFoy or Tyler Boyd. Like they might randomly
Yeah.
get you like 2 touchdowns randomly. I don't really see
Yeah.
it though, because Philly's secondary is actually proven over the years. Definitely liking them.
Adam Schefter just tweeted out that Macklin's out for Sunday. So
Yeah.
like some Tyreek even more now.
Mm-hmm.
That game is going to be 44 degrees, 35% chance of rain.
Okay,
All right.
so I mean,
Great.
maybe Jeremy Hill is the play of this, and Tyler. I like Effort or Eifert. There we go. Boom.
Eifert.
It's Eifert.
I was just saying it's Eifert, but it's Eifert.
Yeah, I like Eifert as a
yeah,
play here.
probably.
I'm not a big fan of Ertz, but who knows? Just because
Yeah.
they're good against the pass, Ertz might be available up the middle or something like that.
Yeah.
He might line up in slot position too. couple
I
times.
haven't been watching many Bengals games at all this year, to be honest. I haven't really gotten a chance to check them out. So
Yeah,
I
neither
don't.
have I. But without AJ Green, like, do you trust Brandon LaFell? Not really. Tyler
It all
Boyd is
depends
their number
on.
one,
It depends
but
on who pulls Jalen Mills. Whoever Jalen Mills is on is going to get shut down between those two because Mills is a good cornerback against bad receivers, and they're not really that good.
They got they don't even have Jalen Mills as a starting cornerback. Was he a safety or what?
No, he's a cornerback.
yeah, he's
For
not
the
starting
Eagles?
because Nolan Carroll
What's
and Jenkins are the two starting ones, and
No,
then
Jenkins is a safety.
McKelvin.
Nah,
Jenkins
Malcolm
is a safety.
Jenkins. He's
Yeah.
a slot. He's a slot corner.
He's a slot corner, but he's also a safety.
Yeah, they got McKelvin and Carroll starting as
Okay.
far as PFF shows it. With they say James Wright is starting outside for the Bengals, and he has the best matchup against Carroll. But
Yeah,
I wouldn't play that guy. I'd play
Who's James-
LaFell.
he's right. Who is that?
Exactly. Like you play LaFell or Tyler Boyd in tournaments. Otherwise, just play
Yeah.
Jeremy Hill.
Exactly.
I mean, I could see starting James Wright as like your GPP play, minimum cost. Like, if he randomly gets a touchdown, like you're getting super value for that 4,500 right there. Because
what
like,
did he do last week? I
like-
mean, you'd rather
What?
start DGP than him at minimum value. Like,
well,
Yes.
of course, but I mean, if
X
you don't
amount
like that
there,
side of
so-
the ball, though, you're not going to go with that side of the ball. Because Cincinnati's actually pretty good against the pass. Not great, but they're better than the Eagles, I think. Because the Eagles are just like they have good stars, but it's just they're about the same. It looks like. It's just watching
They
those
look
games. It's just so disappointing. I don't know how you
They look
feel
like they
Kansas
gave
can
up.
do it every
They
year.
look like they gave up, man. They look like they gave up in the second half. That whole team looked like it just gave up.
Now,
Like
now I understand like why my wife like she gives up like by the second half. It's just like I don't know. It's so heartbreaking that like Jordan Matthews, who's the other guy? Who's that young wide receiver you guys have?
It's, the young one,
Aguilar. Like they're
Aguilar,
sitting there getting
God, he's
hit in the
awful.
numbers and they're just dropping the passes. It's just
Good
like,
Lord, it's so annoying. It was like that with
Yeah.
Bradford last year. Like they had
All right.
so many drop passes last
Yeah.
year. So
All right.
yeah, we're done with that.
all right, next game we got the Lions at New Orleans. New Orleans is a favorite now by 6.5 points. Over under is down to 53. This is probably,
Down to 53. That's still the highest over/under on the slate, right?
Yeah, it started at 54, so that's one of the reasons why I said that because it went from 54
All
to
right.
53.
Can I get started on this?
Go for it.
All right. Drew Brees is a lock. He's going to be high owned, but I don't care. Like, I want him. I want Fleener. I want Ingram, Mike Thomas, all those guys. I'm not really feeling Brandon Cooks, although he's definitely in play in tournaments. I think Brees is safe for cash, too. I mean, he's going to light him up.
Cooks has been complaining this week, and the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and he is.
Right.
Good. I think his quote was, "Closed mouth can't get fed," directly to a reporter. Like just pissed off. Like he wants the ball, and if he can burn somebody, then he'll get it. So
What about their run game? The funny thing is in that tournament, Hightower was slightly more owned than Ingram.
yeah,
Ingram's still questionable with a toe injury, but Howard or Hightower's at 6%, Ingram's at 5%. I mean, I guess that's not big of a difference.
if Ingram's out, if Ingram is ruled out, I would. The moment that I found that out, I'd go make a lineup with Hightower in it. Period.
Yeah.
I think Hightower is super. I think both of them are kind of overpriced. Hightower's at 6,300, Ingram's at 7,000. I mean,
I love Ingram, dude.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
You're so good at
If he plays, he's going to shred.
It's hard to tell because like this game could just be all in the air. I mean, Ingram does it all too, though.
Yeah, but think about it. They have a huge point total. They're home favorites. Like,
Yeah. This is going to.
he's a
I don't
game
know,
line
I think-
back.
I
Everyone's
really
gonna be
feel
on the
like this is a
passing.
game like everyone's underestimating Detroit's defense. Like I
No.
really think they're a lot better than what a 6-point favorite, 6.5-point favorite.
It doesn't matter. It's the dome. You could bring Seattle in there at this time of year with Drew Brees hot, and people are still going to want some of that. You know,
Yep.
it
It happened
doesn't
this year.
Yeah,
Nah, I don't know about
it's not
that.
underestimating that defense.
Let's see.
It's just they're good. Michael Thomas is going to have like 10 receptions. He's a lock. I really like Michael Thomas a lot. I don't know.
Played him last week, and he went off. He's a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
play.
Like,
I really
is it,
my top guys on that side of the ball though. I got to go Ingram and Fleener for me.
yeah, I do like Fleener. Fleener's definitely a good play, definitely highly owned, but he's getting a lot of
No,
looks.
he's not highly owned.
He
was
should
he?
be.
Really?
Let's see.
I don't think so. He's been kind of garbage lately. So.
No, guess not.
Exactly.
4%. I mean, tight end
Yeah,
sort of
I'll
like
take that.
tight ends
Yeah.
sort of like leveled off though, with CJ Fedorowicz at 10%, Antonio Gates at 8%, which I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah.
And then it's like 7-6-4. I don't know, like the wide receiver thing here is like with Brandon Cooks not getting anything last week. It almost seems like a gamble if you start any of these wide receivers, even though like Thomas has been blowing up. Like there has been a couple weeks where like, Thomas did a little to nothing, right? 2 points.
Yeah,
That's about
there
it.
was
though.
there was a week where he did nothing.
Yeah, there was one.
But-
Now looking at it, it's got 7.6, 8.8, 9.3, then 27. Like,
Yeah, well,
I feel like
20.8.
any of these wide receivers can get those numbers, like because
I think-
it's Drew Brees in a high-powered offense with 3 stud
Yeah.
wide receivers.
Let's see.
I wouldn't mind running a cash game with all 3 of these wide receivers, sort of like the Green Bay theory, and just like, all right, I'm going to get points. Hopefully,
Don't
like,
do that. That's a
Against
bad idea.
Seattle, Michael Thomas got 9.3 points. Against Denver, he got 2.
Yeah.
Carolina 9. Against San Francisco 21. Against LA, who has a good defense, 27.3. I think Thomas's floor is 10 points, and I think his ceiling is like 30. So
Yeah.
okay.
I really like Thomas. Honestly, I don't know his ownership percentage, but
All 3 of these guys are up there. I
Yeah.
know that for sure. They're all like the top like 15. Cooks is
Yeah.
number 1 at 16.
That's crazy. He didn't do shit last week, and everyone wants to own him this week.
Well, that's because like sort of what Sean said. Like he's running his mouth and being very vocal about it. Wow, Snead 7%. No way. Michael Thomas is down here. Hold on, that can't be right. 8% Michael Thomas. So you have 7% Willie Snead, 8% Michael Thomas, and then 16% Brandon Cooks, and that's the most, tied with Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill. So yeah, I just think it's gambling with these wide receivers. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
it's hard to pinpoint one,
yeah, that's true.
but they're all
Sure.
around the same price. I guess Willie Snead might be my favorite one, just because he's the cheaper one of them.
Kind of like the Cardinals receiver. Like, which one do you pick? The third one?
Nah,
That
last
was
year,
at beginning of the year.
yes.
Beginning of the
This
year.
year, no.
They're awful. It's Palmer. You can see it in preseason. His arm doesn't work, but we'll talk about that game later. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. What about Detroit side of the ball? Who are we liking over here?
Theo Riddick.
Yeah.
Everyone's been talking about Theo Riddick, and he's questionable now with the ankle injury.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Change that lineup.
He practiced this week.
He
He'll
was
be good to
limited
go.
practice, so yeah, he's probably going to play. I don't know, like, why Theo Riddick?
Because someone has to score points, and he's shown that he can do it whenever they're chasing points. He's a playmaker for him. You want playmakers. Golden Tate maybe too, but Riddick is a starting running back. He's probably cheap, and they're gonna lean on him.
Man, I don't know. Like, when I think of Theo Riddick, I don't think playmaker. Like, he's got 5 total touchdowns. He's got the most receiving touchdowns for a running back right now. So, I mean, that's kind of impressive. So, I mean, that's probably where you're going to get a lot of your usage from Theo Riddick is through passing.
Yeah.
He's a better play on DraftKings where it's full point PPR.
Yeah, definitely. I do like one of these wide receivers. They all seem like they have a good matchup against this weak secondary. Um, I mean, this could be a game where Marvin Jones comes back uh, to like he was at the beginning of the season, even though he's got a thigh injury. Um, I feel like Marvin Jones is probably due to be back in the like the limelight, pretty much. Either that or
Yeah.
Anquan Bolden's going to go off with like 2 touchdowns this
Yeah.
game.
I feel like these receivers are like that. Like you pick one, another one goes off, and Bolden's the one that goes off when you don't think that anybody's going to go off.
I
So
just my thing is one of my boys we're in the same division season long. He drafted Golden Tate. I drafted Marvin Jones like 3 rounds later, and
yeah,
obviously I was shining at first with
yeah,
that pick. But then it's just like Golden Tate just like let him down so many times, and I really
yeah.
think Golden Tate's not that good a receiver. It's just last year he was good because they were double teaming Charles or Calvin Johnson. So
Hmm.
obviously he was like open, or he was the easy second option to go to.
Yeah.
That's my opinion about Tate. Tight
What about?
ends, Ebram might be an okay pick here.
Yeah, he put up a donut, so he's probably low owned, and I don't think he's going to put up a donut again this week. And Stafford also.
Yeah, Stafford, randomly good GPP play. Definitely
You
like
can't.
that.
Yeah, Stafford. They're gonna have to chase points, so they're gonna have to throw. The Saints aren't a good secondary. Stafford might have a huge game and be a lot cheaper than a Drew Brees and put up the same amount of numbers. So
Yeah, I mean, if you think they're going to get you the same amount of points, or like
yeah,
roughly around the same amount of points, you're saving $1,000 if you pick up Stafford.
yeah.
Um,
I would find him naked. I wouldn't put him with anybody. That's the problem. Is because you don't know which one of these receivers is going to go off.
yeah,
So
yeah, I actually like that. Now thinking about it, like maybe a couple cash lineups with Stafford, just have something solid, 20-ish points. Um, yeah, that's about it. I don't like either defense. They both suck, I feel like.
Mm-mm.
All right, so we're
yeah,
going to move on. All right, so this seems to be the hot topic of the week. 49ers at Chicago Bears. Um, 49ers started off the dog, a 1 point dog, but now they're a 2 point favorite. And the over under is at 43, and everyone loves Kaepernick. He's the second most owned quarterback, I believe, in this one tournament. Yeah, 22%. Everyone loves that dude right now. I mean, he's got a good matchup, I would think. Weak defense ish. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm not gonna play him.
yeah. I'm not going to touch him. If he's that highly owned, I'm not going to touch him. He's going to be relying on his legs for this one. Bears are underrated defense.
So
They
check
have a good
this out
secondary
real
too.
quick. I just saw something. All right, I have all the quarterbacks lined up for the Sunday slate. Uh, Drew Brees averaging 23 points, Matt Ryan 22, Tom Brady 23, Aaron Rodgers 24, Big Ben 20, and then you have a bunch of like high team players: Stafford, Phillip Rivers, Derek Carr, Eli Manning at 16, and then at 7,800 you have Colin Kaepernick averaging 22 points a game. Now, is that because he had a couple of inflated games? Let's see. He had a
Mhm.
33. Not really. I mean, the 34 points definitely helped him. But I mean, like he had a couple 23s against Arizona, number one defense against the quarterback. New England, he still put up almost 20 points.
Yeah.
Like maybe there is something here. Like your average. Like if you take the season long, like long term, and you just put Kaepernick in your lineup from here on out, like if he's averaging more points than all these other quarterbacks, like Stafford, Rivers, Big Ben, Derek Carr, like why does that seem like such a questionable play or a bad play?
Yeah,
Because that's the
because
only thing I noticed. Like
I
when I'm
trust him.
looking at his lineups, 7,800, 22 points average. That seems pretty good for the value that you're paying for him.
Yeah, he looked good last week. Last week he had 113 rushing yards,
Yeah.
300 passing yards, 29 completions, and 3 touchdowns. Like he is playing on fire. Yeah, you're right. Cap might be a good call. I'm not looking at him because he was garbage at the beginning of the year, and he was garbage against the Bills when he first came back, and I'm just prejudiced against like someone that looks like a terrible quarterback, and I just don't want to look at him anymore. Maybe he's gotten better. I haven't really watched the games, but he lit it up last week. I agree with you.
I mean, he's definitely getting better. Buffalo, his first game back, 18 points. Tampa Bay, 15. New Orleans, 23. Arizona, 23. New England, 19.4. Miami, 34. So, I mean, like, he's getting better.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like the Colin Kaepernick value play right here, where you're saving money, but you're getting the same amount of points or average same amount of points. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
What
Who's he
about
throwing
Carlos
to?
Hyde as a good play here? Do you like him against Chicago's defense? That was like mid-range, middle of the field rush
Hyde's one of
defense.
those players that can just hide on you. Literally, he'll just go away for a game and won't be there. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's definitely burned me a couple times. I don't like any Chicago wide receivers. What do you think about McDonald, Dustin?
Uh, yeah, I guess he could be all right. I was looking at tight ends because you could throw it on the 49ers. I mean, you could pass on them. I'd be curious to see who's the Bears tight end now because everyone that's listed on here looks like they've been cut. Tony Moeaki cut by the Bears. Hausler, his contract terminated. So I don't even know who the hell they have at tight end now. But
Logan Paulson.
His name is Logan Paulson.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So,
it's, forgot about that.
He's 4,600. He only had one target. He hasn't put
no,
up.
you can't play any of these guys.
No.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, I might throw in some Wilson and Meredith because you can pass on the 49ers. I don't want anybody on the San Francisco side.
Okay.
Yeah, the Bears offense is going to be on the field a lot. That's just how Chip Kelly's system works. So,
Okay. What do you guys think about Jordan Howard?
I don't.
He's a decent play.
He's
I don't think
33% owned in that one tournament, so that definitely.
I'm not playing a lot of them, dude, because
Yeah.
he'll probably have like 15 fantasy points or 12. You know.
Yeah, Kadeem Carey could get hot and then boom.
And also, if they
I-
get a big enough lead, if Howard's got I mean, don't get me wrong, a touchdown in like 60 to 100 yards is always a good game, but like he can definitely get more against that defense. But like with Jeremy Langford being healthy, if they get a big enough lead, they could easily just feed Langford a bunch of garbage time touchdowns or yards. Josh Bell,
Yeah.
he's on the Bears. When did that happen?
And they cut him. They picked him up for the week that they were playing the Lions.
Uh,
And,
All right.
Um,
What about San Francisco defense
Ooh.
against Barkley? That might be interesting.
I like Barkley. I personally like Barkley this week. I think he's the most contrarian play that there is out there. I think Barkley's going to do good this week.
Who are you pairing him with, though?
Wilson.
I would go Meredith, but
Yeah.
you could do either, really.
yeah, I feel like either one's not really wrong. It's just you got to hope you win that lottery right there.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what it is. It's a lottery. And if we're talking about all these games, the best for me personally, the lottery player that I like the most is Matt Barkley because he's probably 1% owned. He had a great game last week. They had to catch up to the Titans. If the 49ers get hot, Kaepernick is throwing, then they're going to be passing. They're going to have to catch up to him. I thought that Barkley didn't look bad, and he was a competent quarterback for his entire life until he got to the NFL, and he was just thrown into games and
Yeah.
expected to show up, and he never did. This was his first game that he was actually starting from the beginning and was prepared like a starter, and he did good.
Yeah.
He might be playing for a spot to be on the 49ers next year if they don't like Kaepernick because Chip Kelly drafted him. Chip Kelly moved up to draft him. He might have a really good game this game. That's just my opinion.
Wait, Chip Kelly? Are you talking about John
Matt
Fox?
No, Chip Kelly drafted Matt Barkley
Oh, okay.
out of college.
Oh, when he
To
was
the
on
Eagles.
the Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha,
he moved
gotcha.
up to draft him.
Yeah, didn't he play for
Okay.
the Cardinals one year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was their backup last year.
All right, let's move off this
Yeah.
game.
All right. So we'll go on to the next game. 1 o'clock, we have Los Angeles Rams at New England Patriots. 100% blowout game, it looks like. Patriots are 13.5 point favorites with an over-under of 44. How do you guys like in this game?
Who benefits when Gronk's out? That's the question.
Yeah.
Maybe Bennett. Mostly Edelman, I
Yeah.
actually think. Edelman's
I
probably
like
going to be.
I like Malcolm Mitchell
Me
or
too.
Chris Hogan, one of those guys to
I like
have
Mitchell.
a nice game.
I think if you see the way the team responds to Mitchell when he gets the ball and the way he fights for the ball in the air, they like him. He's almost like they get really hyped on the sideline. The coaches like him. I think they're going to start trying to feed him so that they have a deep run in the playoffs. Like he's their X factor. I like him a lot.
He's definitely been killing it the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
17 points and 18 points.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've had
if
my eye
I'm
on
looking
all
at
season.
Hogan and Edelman, they have some questionable injuries. So, I mean, he probably is
Yeah.
the key running or key wide receiver on here. I
mean,
know he's somewhat played.
Last week, who turned it up once Gronk was out? Malcolm
Yeah.
Mitchell. But the actual average is Edelman, I think, is in a half point gets 11. He averages 11 points per game. And then when Gronk's out, he averages 17 and a half, something like around that. So he goes up about a touchdown when Gronk's out.
Yeah, I like Edelman here just because he's definitely the number one there.
Yeah.
GPP, I like Malcolm Mitchell. I think a lot of people are going to be owning him. In this one tournament, he's 11% for Mitchell.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, he's just the new hotness right now. So, I mean, like, maybe fade him just because everyone's playing
Yeah.
him, but maybe there's a reason why everyone's playing him. And he's gotten almost 20 points both back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
With
Do you think the
Gronk
running
out.
game? Do you think Blunt's going to do anything? Think this is week Deion Lewis decides to show up?
Oh, man, who knows? Like, this is like the only, like, New England running backs are like this super questionable thing because whoever's running hot, they're going to play him and then not even start Blunt for a snap. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I do like the running game here, and I do sort of do like Blunt. I think they're going to
Yeah.
ease Deion Lewis, and once he gets
Yeah.
more snaps, then I'll be on the. Well, I guess
Yeah.
he has been getting
Is
snaps.
this in Foxborough or is it in
It's in
It's in
Foxborough.
New England.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fade everybody on the Rams, hands down. Like, that's going to be a huge blowout. What's the spread on that game?
13.
Yeah,
Last I looked.
13 and a half right now.
Yeah.
I would throw in like Kenny Britt or Brian Quick as a tournament play. Just garbage time. You can beat the Patriots in the air, especially in a game like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Katie Bird is definitely average. I'm liking his numbers, like good average numbers. Last 4 games, 12.9, 14.4, 6.8, 13.7.
Yeah, he's expensive though.
Yeah,
He'll be
he's higher
very
than
low
Mitchum
owned.
and Edelman. I mean, like if I was to pick one wide receiver, Britt or Edelman, it will always be Edelman. Britt or Mitchell,
Yeah.
definitely favoring Mitchell. I'm not even like Tavon Austin over Britt.
He's doubtful, so
Yeah.
I don't think he's
Yeah.
playing.
Well, I mean, just in like a vacuum, like without the injury, if both of them are like healthy, I think I like Austin over Britt as well.
I mean, if you took their names off and just looked at their targets and numbers, you'd like Britt more. Like, if you look at it, if you just look at their numbers, Britt's a better receiver. He gets more targets. He puts up more numbers. Honestly, he might be the player that they scheme against. Like, they scheme against a player, he might be it.
Yeah, the target's a lot more consistent on his end, on Britt's side, than it is on Tavon Austin's side.
Yeah, Austin he's that player that you want to be good. Like, you're
Yeah.
waiting for it to happen, and it's just not there.
What about Todd Gurley? Anyone playing him at 6,800?
No, hell no. Let's
Nope.
move on.
All right.
Yeah.
Next one, Miami at Baltimore. Baltimore is 3.5 point favorites with an over/under at 41. Anyone shining on this game that you guys like?
Flacco.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
play him in
Flacco.
a GPP, pair him up with Steve
Yep.
Smith or Mike Wallace. Brashad Perriman might have a big catch.
Yep. Look at what Kaepernick did to Miami last week. he smoked them, and he's kind of incompetent. So
Okay, I can definitely see
what's
that.
what's Flacco's ownership?
Who?
What's Flacco's ownership?
Probably 1%.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. Who else
So,
you guys like
4%.
in this game?
He's at 4. Mike Wallace might be really good. I love Steve Smith Senior.
Yeah.
With how he trashes, like talks trash, how he actually performs and backs up his trash talking.
So cool. He's so cool.
Like I still want to see that documentary that like he says something about like I want your mom to be mad at me for how dirty I'm about to do their son. It's just like
Yeah.
it's like the guy's
That's
like an
great.
OG from the streets, man.
Yeah,
he's a real
he's-
deal. I like him.
Yeah, Steve Smith he's awesome. I hope he makes the Hall of Fame one day.
What about Terrence
but-
West?
yeah.
Or I'm sorry, not Terrence West. I was looking at his name.
Kent
Tim
Dixon.
Dixon.
He's that player that everyone's been waiting for him to get hot. Maybe it's this week. Everyone's
Yeah.
been on it all year. Sticks and like, so are you going to benefit? Are you going to be the one that picks him this week? It's like Russian roulette. Is this the week he's going to go off, or is he going to give you 10 points again?
Seems like a good spot for him. Miami's
Yeah, it is.
30th in run.
He's cheap too.
But the problem is Terrence West is randomly like flashy, good at times. So
Yeah,
if
West
he's
looked good
if
in
he's running
preseason.
hot, Harbaugh's going to probably keep him in.
yeah,
No, he's not running hot, dude.
yeah. He's been pretty bad.
No, I said
Yeah.
if he's running hot, like he's like inconsistent. Like Dixon's not really doing anything really. But I mean, like there's that one game against the Giants. Terrence West put up 26 points. He's put up 17, 11. But I mean,
That's
like,
why Kenneth Dixon was hurt, and they keep talking about how they want to get him more involved.
yeah,
Last
and
few weeks,
I'm
he's got
definitely
more and
behind
more
that.
work.
Mhm.
But like I'm saying,
Yeah,
like if say like Dixon can't get anything going, but Terrence West can, like I can see Terrence West getting a majority of the snaps that game,
Yeah.
just because one running back's able to run.
Yeah.
What if-
Dixon's rushing attempts in the past 4 weeks are 9, 6, 6, and 13. It's pretty hard to start somebody that's getting 9 and 13 and 6. And, that's really, there's nothing going on there. His targets are 4 last week, 5 versus Cleveland. Zero targets against Dallas. Dixon might go off this week, but he might not. It's kind of like the Barkley pick. But-
Yep. GPP only.
Yeah, definitely GPP only. What about Miami side of the ball? Do we like anyone over there? They're looking like hot fire right now.
Both of their offensive linemen are back, or that were injured.
Yeah,
Really?
There's
so
3 out
Ajayi
last
might be a
week.
good play. And he's
Yeah,
only at 7,500.
Yeah. What's his name? Brandon Albert and Laramie Tunsil are both back, and I believe their center is out still. So, I traded away David Johnson for Julio Jones because I had Ajayi, and I've been following that offensive line, and I've been praying to God that Ajayi gets hot again. So this might be the week. He's a beast. He's a beast.
My big concern is this defense. I don't know.
Yeah.
It definitely seems questionable with such a good defense on the other side of the ball. If they can actually move the ball down. What is it? Ravens are a 3.5-point favorite. When the lower over-unders at 41 this week.
Yeah. Devontae Parker's out, right?
I think he's still
Yes.
injured. I don't know if it's official yet.
His list is questionable.
Who's their tight end?
He
Because
didn't practice all week. I don't like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
playing him.
Deion Sims is the best option. I don't like any
I don't-
tight ends in this matchup. Like even Pitta, like he's not doing it for me. I don't want to ever put Pitta in the lineup this year.
I
Yes,
like
it-
Ravens defense.
I do like the Ravens defense. Definitely like that. Even Miami's defense might be a random good play. I think you were talking about that, Dustin, a couple times.
Yeah.
Just like you said no.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's
sure.
I remember
about
I was talking to
Jarvis
someone
Landry?
about that, and it's just like they could randomly do something. All
What
right.
about Jarvis
Landry.
Landry?
Um,
he's cheap.
Yeah, Landry's cheap. A bad matchup though, so I mean, I'm not sure if I like this or not. I don't know if I like the wide receivers this game. They're playing
Except
against a good defense. This could be a very low-scoring game. where like picking up a kicker and defense might be the play out of this game.
Yeah.
And not even
I think
Ajayi.
Landry could be kind of sneaky play, especially if Parker's out.
Yeah.
Definitely can be. That's for sure. All right. We'll go on to the next game. Starting with 4 o'clock games, we got Buffalo at Oakland. Oakland's a 3-point favorite, and the over/under dropped a couple points to 48.5. There's a lot of talk about this game being the game of the week. Like,
Yeah.
like besides New Orleans, like this is going to be the high scoring
Yeah.
power offenses. Sammy Watkins is back. There's a lot of hype about him. They're saying they're expecting a big game from him. I don't know. What do you guys think on Buffalo's side of the ball?
They need to have Sammy Watkins have a big game if they want to make it into the playoffs. If they want to not have their season in tomorrow. Pretty much.
Okay.
Tyrod Taylor's going to get harassed all game by that defensive line. Alden Smith is back. But Tyrod Taylor's a good quarterback, and he's slippery. So
The thing is, like, the matchup here, Oakland's got one of the worst defense in the league. And they're sort of going against the grain with, like, all offense, no defense type deal.
not lately. They haven't had a terrible defense. What's his name? Khalil Mack has showed up. He has definitely shown up the past couple of weeks. He is a monster out there. He's a freak of nature. And like I said, Alden Smith is coming back from suspension. Is it suspension or injury? I think it's suspension this week. So you have two monsters on the outside just running at Tyrod. So it's gonna be a good game. They don't have anybody to throw it to except for Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, everyone else is injured. Robert Woods is out.
So, I mean, is this a play for
No.
LaShawn McCoy then, Dustin?
I think so. I like Sammy Watkins and LaShawn McCoy. Justin Hunter will probably score a touchdown, but
Yeah,
he does. He that's all he does is just score one touchdown. Like,
yeah.
you're not playing him.
Yeah. All right, what about Oakland side of the ball? Are we going with the Derek Carr, Amari Cooper stacks?
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, this is Cooper week. Last week it was Crabtree week. This week it's Cooper, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
I love Derek Carr. He's good.
Buffalo's technically the 8th best pass defense on paper. So
Yeah, I don't care though. I
You
mean,
don't
it has a pretty high over under.
It's at Oakland.
Yeah, I like the way Derek Carr and Amari Cooper look in a lineup, man. It's a good stack.
okay. I definitely can't go against that because Latavius Murray's fallen off or come back down to reality a little bit. I guess he's
He's so
plaguing
disappointing.
injuries as well. God, he had 31 points against Denver. God, it makes me want to throw up every time I look at that.
I know, right? What's Sammy Watkins' ownership percentage? I'm sorry to get back to that side of the ball, but
That's fine. Let's see. Sammy.
I'm not seeing him. Let me use the search tool. 3%.
that's a great play then, in my opinion. He probably isn't that expensive either.
6,300.
Yeah,
It is an awesome play.
Mhm.
that's
I mean, what about Sammy Watkins' Tyrod Taylor stack? Or do you just think
Hell yeah.
is that a sarcastic hell yeah, or is that a real one?
No.
actually
that's
you're
a
right.
real one.
Because like what I was saying, that defensive line for the Raiders is really physically strong and fast, so they're going to be getting to him. But Tyrod Taylor runs.
It's a very mobile quarterback, so you can see him getting like 50 yards and a touchdown rushing.
Yeah, if he gets forced out of the pocket consistently,
Yeah.
he's gonna fly.
Okay, I definitely see that.
That might
So,
be a good one.
I mean, I'm not even game stacked where I have Watkins, Taylor, and McCoy and just go nuts.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't like McCoy this week for some reason.
What about Crabtree and his Achilles injury? Are we like
Did he
him
get
at
his-
all?
Did he get an Achilles injury again?
Yeah, it says
Oh.
Achilles on DraftKings, but when I click on it, it says ankle.
Yeah,
Well-
I might double stack this game too. I remember reading something about the guy that was supposed to cover Crabtree is not playing tomorrow. So
So even a Derek Carr, Crabtree, Cooper lineup.
and then you get all the points and all
Yeah.
the money.
Yeah, that seems like a solid play. I don't like either one defense. Kicker might be good on either side of the ball because just in case, like, actually, Oakland's kicker might be really good just because they're playing against a good defense. They might not be able to score on every single drive or every other drive, so they have to or score a touchdown. So they got to kick some field goals.
Janikowski.
Yeah, I even like Dan Carpenter though. Like, I feel like they can. Both teams are able to go down the fields a lot. You might be able to get
Yeah.
a good like 12 points out of one of those kickers.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the Tampa Bay at San Diego game. San Diego's favorite 3.5 with the over under at 47.5. Good lord,
This is going to be a shootout.
that's a big over under.
This is going to be a shootout. So
You think so?
Too.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Tampa Bay's
yeah,
just
they're
coming out
26 against the pass.
Well, Tampa
Yeah,
Bay just beat Seattle.
what was that?
Didn't Tampa Bay just beat Seattle in Seattle? Didn't they just
Yeah.
spank Seattle in Seattle? Like,
I-
so
I don't know if that. Well, I mean, that definitely says something, but I
They
don't
were
know.
they were
Like,
in Tampa Bay.
they're in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know
Seattle
how
had to
healthy,
travel across the country.
Yeah.
I don't know how healthy Russell Wilson is, to be honest. Like, oh, he's fully healthy, and then he puts up 0 points. And the funny thing is,
He's fine. His offensive
Yeah.
line is garbage though.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll definitely say that. It was funny because that Tampa Bay game, we made a game stack with Thomas Rawls, Russell Wilson, not Lockett. Who's their number one guy? Doug
Baldwin.
and Jimmy Graham for that one game, and we still made money off that lineup in the GPP.
Yeah.
That was amazing. No offensive points on that side of the ball. All right, Mike Evans on
What-
Tampa Bay
Yeah.
side of the ball.
Mike Evans is ridiculous. He is a superstar. He just like he's like this, and he catches the ball because he's like 3 feet taller than everybody and 150 pounds heavier than every cornerback out there. He's just a monster. He's a Frankenstein beast. He's like a tight end that can sprint faster than you, and he's just good. He's gonna get 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, looking at his numbers, he just might be like the David Johnson of wide receivers, man.
He is.
Like-
He's so good.
He's got 1, 2, 3 games under 10 points. I mean, I know when you're paying this much money for a wide receiver, you don't want the average, but he's averaging 18 points. He has multiple games, 1, 2, 3, 4 games over 20, and the lowest game out of those 4 games is 24 points. Like,
He's Calvin Johnson when Calvin Johnson was hot. That's what
Yeah.
he's like. He's like you could triple team him, and he's still gonna catch the ball.
yeah, he just might be
Like,
like the chalk play for the rest of the season. Like, just like if you don't have David Johnson or Mike Evans, if you don't have both those guys in your lineup, you might be doing it wrong just because
Yeah.
they're the
Mike
majority of
Evans,
the offense.
8% owned in the Fantasy Aces tournament from
You gotta
Thursday.
be kidding me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's something
that's-
else that was
that's-
crazy in that Fantasy Aces tournament that it was just super low for no reason. I forgot who it was, but Mark Ingram. Like Hightower being over Mark Ingram was just like I sort of want to play on this site now because of I see like all these questionable plays.
So if we like Evans so much, we like Jameis this week.
Yeah.
I mean, could be a good stack. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
he seems about average. Like he's hitting his average consistently. He's only had a couple bad games. 17 points against Seattle, even though all it was those 2 touchdowns and that's it. He's got a lot of interceptions though. He's thrown a lot less interceptions recently, but he's also been playing against worse defenses in the last like 4
Yeah.
Yeah.
weeks.
I'd rather play just Evans and
Yeah.
Yeah.
have a different quarterback stack.
Yeah,
Agreed.
exactly. I like that.
So that means we
Let's
don't
look at
like
San
Brady.
Diego side of the ball real quick.
Well, what about Doug Martin?
Nah,
Oh, yeah.
A nice matchup.
You
I
don't like
actually don't think it's a good matchup.
Huh?
Yeah, I think they have a
He's
good
gonna
rush
hit.
defense. Like just looking at their FanDuel site, they're 6th best. They're the 6th best against the rush. So I mean,
What?
like,
When did that happen?
it's always been a good thing. But I mean, like, I don't know.
Well-
Let's see. Let me see who they
He's
played
every down
against.
back. I probably like Gordon on the other side more for sure.
Yeah. Is,
Definitely like
is
Gordon
Martin
this game.
expensive? I
He's
mean,
6,500.
do you like Jeremy Hill or Doug Martin more?
Jeremy Hill.
German, yeah.
See? All right. Then fade Martin.
Yeah, just because of matchup. They're on the low. Like what Philly's defense was at the beginning of the season, that's what San Diego's rush defense is right now. It's just
Okay.
underestimated, like undervalued, pretty much.
Joey
Um,
Bosa's a beast. Good
yeah.
Lord.
I like Melvin Gordon in this game. I don't like anyone else on San Diego's side of the ball. Like Terrell Williams is injured. He was limited in practice.
I
Either
feel like
today or
Gordon is due
yesterday.
for a big game. I feel like Gordon hasn't had a big game in a couple of weeks. I'm going to look up his numbers really quick. But yeah,
It's a good
You're right.
matchup too.
Yeah, it definitely is a good matchup. But that's the only one that I really like in this game. I don't really like anyone else. Gordon's at 14% ownage in that tournament, so Travis Benjamin might have a breakout game, but I'm not really like loving anyone on this team really, besides Mike Evans.
What
in
about
this
Philip
game.
Rivers? Is he expensive?
Nah, he's probably decently
8,200.
8,200. Yeah, that's too
Yeah.
much.
That's
I'm
too
not-
much for him. He's good though.
I mean, maybe matchup wise, like Antonio Gates is getting a lot of hype right now.
Do we like Hunter Henry? I'd rather have Hunter Henry than Gates. I mean, it's just he does more with his targets.
Yeah, it's all GPP only for me, except for Mike Evans.
Nah, I mean, I definitely agree with that, Dustin. Targets though, Antonio's getting more targets, 100%.
Yeah,
He's
but
like
Hunter
triple
Henry's
his
doing more.
targets.
Yeah, but Henry's doing more with his targets than what Gates is doing with his targets, is what I'm saying. Henry's getting less targets and putting up more points. Or even amount.
Well, I mean, right now Gates is averaging more. I mean, he's played less games though.
Yeah.
One less game. So I mean, I guess I don't know. Like, I like him. Didn't he put up 0 last week? No, he put up 14.
Gates.
Gates got donut, more targets.
Oh,
and
he
Henry put
didn't
up
even
7
play.
points.
Unless his
Right?
game log is
Are you sure?
bugged or
I'm
something
almost
like that.
positive that.
He doesn't even have a game
Gates
log.
played and had 0 points.
Yeah, that's
So he didn't even get a target then. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. I thought Gates being the
Let's see.
third or second most owned tight end was kind of
Oh yeah, he didn't get any targets anyway.
questionable.
Jeez.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a game log. Like, he doesn't even have a 0-0-0 for that game. I know I started him in season long fantasy, and I was quite upset about that one. All right, we got another interesting game coming up. We got the Redskins at Arizona. Arizona's 2.5-point favorite with the over/under at 48. This game, I have no idea what to expect. Except for David Johnson. We'll talk about Arizona's side of the ball first.
Okay.
It's almost like I have one running back slot in every single fancy daily fantasy lineup. Like, if you're not playing David Johnson, there's something wrong. Like, he's a monster. He's a beast. Does he even have a bad game? What's his worst
No,
game?
he's doing it with with
12?
the backup offensive line too. Like he's doing. Everyone's been singing Zeke's praises, like he should be the MVP or something. David Johnson is carrying this Arizona team with a broken offensive line, a broken quarterback, and broken receivers. I think he deserves MVP consideration if we're going to talk about a running back in it. He's awesome. David Johnson's great.
The only
You're
problem with that logic is that he plays for the Cardinals, and that's why he's not being talked about more.
Yeah, I get you.
But I mean, with his last couple
fantastic.
5 games, they might talk about him a lot more coming up. You like anyone else on the Cardinal side of the ball, Dustin?
No.
Really?
Well, actually, I
there you go.
apologize.
You're about some tight ends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gresham.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
About Gresham, I do like him against the Redskins. He's been getting more involved in the passing game because, like Sean was saying earlier, Carson Palmer can't throw the ball down the field. So he's getting these little dump-off passes. He had 10 targets last week, and he gets the Redskins who get torched by the tight ends because they got Norman on the outside.
Mm.
So that's the place that they'll want to attack.
Okay.
Johnson and cash and tournament. Gresham GPP only.
Yeah. What about Larry Fitz and Cash, real quick?
Nah.
No.
Yeah. What's Fitz?
He's the other tight end technically. He's lined up the slot. Like
Yeah, he could have a decent game, but I'm not really interested in him this week.
Is Norman a shadow guy or is he?
He stays on one side of the field,
Does
so
he?
he doesn't follow anyone.
All right.
He won't be in the slot. He'll be on the right side.
All right. So what do we think about Washington's side of the ball? This is definitely the second best pass defense that the Washington's going to play against. So I mean, what do you guys think of Robert Kelly as a play?
Yeah, I like him. I honestly think that even though Arizona has a really great pass defense, Cousins KC is just on fire. He's on fire right now. So there's going to be some balls being caught, which will open up the game for Kelly. So I could see how Kelly having like 100 yards and a touchdown this week.
He's decently priced too at 7,500. So I mean, if you really think this, I could definitely see like a Kirk Cousins, Crowder, maybe a Rob Kelly stack. I don't know if I like Rob Kelly.
I like
Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis might tear it up this game. That's probably
Cardinals are really good against the tight end, but it doesn't matter when Cousins is on fire. He throws to his tight ends, and they're gonna get the ball. It's gonna happen
when they're stud tight ends too, like Jordan Reed and Vernon Davis. I mean, Vernon Davis is showing no signs of being an old man that he is. So I mean,
yeah,
and yeah.
Can I give a hot take here as a Redskins fan? I kind of want to just fade the Washington side of the ball. Kirk Cousins has been on fire the last 2 weeks. The ownership's going to be high. I think Arizona's defense is the play here. I do like Crowder catching passes over the middle. Like Taylor Gabriel went off last week. I think that's where you can beat him. But I think this is a huge letdown spot. I think we see bad Cousins, right?
Yeah.
There's games like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Consistency is not Cousins' like adjective that I would ever describe him. Real quick though, he's at 4% ownage. Do we like defense? Do we like Washington's defense against this turnover-heavy offense of Arizona side of the ball?
No, I want to touch defense on either one of these because this is a wild card game right here. This is winner gets one more step closer to the wild card. So they're going to be playing like as hard as they can. So I don't see either. I see you could have a really high scoring game or you could have some turnovers, but I want to play either defenses, honestly.
All right, gotcha.
I like both defenses, but Cardinals I think is a really good one.
Yeah, I sort of like it's pretty high over under. I like Washington's defense just because Arizona's given up the most points to defenses so far this year. All right, so we got to hurry up and wrap this up. So we're going to go on to the next game, the last 4:00 game. New York Giants at Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are 6-point favorites, and the over/under is down to 48. This is like so many different views about this game. Like, could be a defensive game, could be a shootout. Is it worth playing Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell in your lineup?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys?
I love Ben, Bell, and Brown, man. I think that's elite.
A nice little stack. I mean, the Giants are 24th against the pass right now, so I mean, I definitely am going to have Antonio Brown in a lot of my lineups. Let's see here, Le'Veon Bell. I mean, he's just a stud. I don't see. There's nothing wrong with playing Le'Veon Bell, but like I said, if I'm playing David Johnson, I might pass on Bell just so I can save some money. But like that's their offense right there. Antonio Brown, Bell. If they're healthy, they're getting all the targets, all the looks, all the handoffs.
Well, would you start Bell or David Johnson if you're going to start one elite running back? Who's a better play?
Yeah, DJ.
Yeah, like he's probably like almost like 40% of that offense, like yards and touchdowns.
You can run on the Redskins too, man.
Yeah. Especially matchup wise too. Yeah. Giants randomly have a good rush defense. Big Ben is a randomly good play just because they're weak against passing.
They're at home too.
Yeah, they're at
Yeah.
home. Who else
They
is
like to
it?
show for the fans, so
Don't really like anyone. I don't like Jesse James. He's fallen off since the
Darius
beginning of the year.
Green. Green's starting to warm up.
Yeah, a
That's
lot
a
of
good
people
call.
on Green. What about Giants side of the ball? Do we like anyone besides like is Odell? I mean, I imagine Odell's playable, but do we like it?
Mm. I'm kind of
No.
lukewarm on him.
Yeah, for his price too.
He
I'd rather
has 2 touchdown upside always, and it's a good matchup. So
start Julio than him. If we're gonna spend on a receiver, honestly, like
Right.
that's
Well,
just my opinion.
okay. Antonio Brown or Beckham? They're both priced at the same.
Brown.
Okay.
Brown.
Yeah, it's definitely matchup dependent. I'm sort of surprised at. Well, not back. Like the Steelers are just as bad on the throw too.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Like this could be a game where like this
What's
could
that-
be a shootout as well. I think a lot of
what's that-
people are just overplaying their defense or how bad their defense is.
what's the ownership of each one?
Let's see that real quick. Not very high. Oh, that's what it was. Brown was like 5%. Yeah, Brown's 5%. ODB
At home.
Yeah, at home.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's OBJ is he even on this list? Odell Beckham 2%.
Good lord.
Yeah, like this site, I might be looking and getting in on this site, Fancy Aces.
Yeah, I think people are probably staying away from the expensive receivers because I mean you know what their ceiling is, and you can probably try to find it cheaper somewhere else, like someone like Rashard Matthews having a 2-touchdown game or something like that. Which not this week, but
Yeah.
like there's random players like that come out of the woodwork.
I don't know. It's like Mike Evans. Well, like Odell's been sort of disappointing part of the season, but
Yeah.
Antonio Brown, like it's almost like a lock. Like him, Mike Evans, Bell, and Johnson. Like if I can fit all 4 of those guys on my lineup,
Yeah.
I don't know. And some GPP plays, I might do it, and then just have some like, crapshoots for like the rest of my team.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the last game of Sunday, the night game. Carolina Panthers at Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are a 7-point favorite. Over unders down to 44. I mean, I do like Doug Baldwin, Russell Wilson. I like Seattle side of the ball, but with what they did against Tampa Bay, I don't know if I trust that. I mean, they are at home now, so I mean that's a little bit better.
Is Kuechly out of the lineup?
Yeah.
All right. They might try to get Rawls going. They might try to like really feed the ball to Rawls, get him going because he looked awful last week, and they need him to look good.
Yeah. I don't see them running the ball in Carolina though.
Yeah. Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin, I do like a stack. Jimmy Graham, even though he's Jimmy
Yeah.
Graham, it just seems like a hit or miss
Yeah.
type dude.
I don't know. I like him. I'll take him.
Has he been hit or miss this year? 7,
Graham?
12, 6, 26, 4, 7. Yeah, I mean,
Look at his home and road numbers because that might tell a story right there.
yeah, the only one that he did bad at home is the first game of the year against Miami.
When he was injured.
Yeah. Well, no, he got 1.9 points. Or did he get injured that game?
He was coming off an injury essentially.
Okay.
So week 1 and 2, he was still playing like a little bit of snaps.
Gotcha.
So
What about Carolina's side of the ball? Is Jonathan Stewart a good play here?
I was thinking that he was good
No
against them
way.
last year apparently.
Is
From what
Bennett
I
still hurt?
remember,
I'm not sure if Bennett's still hurt or not. But you definitely don't like the running back, Dustin?
No sir.
yeah.
No. Yeah, neither am I. Even Rolls, I'm not even liking either.
I think Jonathan Stewart might be that running back that when the weekend's over with, we're gonna be like, wow, he was awesome, but I still don't kick myself for not playing him. I think he's gonna be that player because you know how there's always that player every week that goes off, and you're like, yeah, well, I'm not kicking myself for not playing him, although I should have.
Nah, I
Stewart-
mean like matchup wise and everything like that.
I don't see any situation where that happens. I think this is a defensive
year.
battle, dude.
last year Stewart did well against the Seahawks, from what I remember in the playoffs. From what I remember.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
also this year, like he's good for like a random 2 touchdown games. What is this?
You
He
might
got
you might be
3.
right because I remember Blunt ran it for a few against Seattle, so
Yeah.
you might be right.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a good GPP
Yeah.
play. Definitely
I'm
not
still not
cash though.
I'm not touching him, but
All right,
like
I mean
I
that's
said,
fair.
he's gonna be that player that we're gonna look back at and be like, huh.
What about Olsen?
That-
You think
I'll
Olsen's
play
gonna be
him in a
good player?
lineup just to see.
Yeah.
You know, the
Austin.
Seahawks are terrible against the tight end. They're awful against tight end. They've always given up seam route for tight ends because that's how they play their defense. So Olsen might be that player that no one wants to play again because he's been crap lately. That might show up.
That's
And
the one guy that kind of stood out to me. Also Cam Newton too. I think he could have a nice game.
yeah, definitely.
I hate Cam.
Running in a couple touchdowns, maybe get you some points.
Especially if that defense like does good coverage. If Michael Bennett is still out, they don't have good pass rushers. He could definitely run on them a couple times. Sort of like the Tyrod Taylor theory. And he's probably cheap too on here. Let's see. Cam Newton, 7,600. I mean, he's only 200 more than Tyrod Taylor. So
Yeah,
if you think about Tyrod Taylor, Cam Newton might be a good play because of low ownership as well. Because I'm sure he's probably not even up here. Yeah, he's not even up here. All right. So unfortunately, this took a lot longer than I thought. We're an hour and 20 minutes into this podcast. So unfortunately, I got to go to work because do have responsibilities and whatnot. But this is the Daily Fish right here. I'm Charles. This is Dustin and our guest Sean Collins. Let us know how you think. Leave us a comment on the YouTube video. Hit us up on Twitter. We got our Twitter handles on the screen. I'm FearThese88. Dustin is Dookie Hogue. And we also have a Twitter for the podcast. Is the Daily Fish Pod.
follow
So
us there
That's pretty much it. What was it?
at the Daily Fish Pod.
At the Daily Fish Pod. Okay, I thought so. All right. So good luck, everyone, and have fun.